So, with December upon us comes new deck ideas, and with those new deck ideas comes new sets in the upcoming year. A set specifically is set to release in February 9th is Photon Hypernova. Now, this set is by far one of the best sets to ever release Springans support. Springans Tallyho and Gigantic Champion Sagas, which are both Springan cards. Just forget about the Therion part that's in Champion Sagas, it's fine, we're not talking about that. But those two cards alone stop a well-built Springan deck, or in this case a Time Thief Springan deck, from this happening to it again.
Hell yeah, full combo in one card.
Alright, so I will start by normal summoning Regulator. I'll attempt to use this effect, tribute as cost.
Chain Ash. Oh. Now, without further ado, let's move to the deck profile. So starting with our monsters, we'll start with the Time Thief portion of the deck. We play 3 regular. This is our best starter for the deck, as it allows us to get access to our 2 best other Time Thief monsters, being Time Thief Winder, which is a 3 of, and Time Thief Adjuster. Winder has an extension ability in hand, where you can detach a material from an Xyz monster you control to special summon it. Also on normal or special summon, it will add you a Time Thief card. Adjuster, on normal or special summon, can foolish you any Time Thief card from your deck. Also, it has an extension effect where if a Time Thief monster is summoned to your field, you are able to special summon this from your hand, but then you can't use the send effect when it is summoned. And then for our one-of Time Thieves, we run a Basil Ship and a Chronocorder. Now for the Springan portion of the deck. We play 3 Springan Brothers, 2 Springan Pedor, and 1 Rocky. These are our level 4s that we want to see brothers more often, as pitching it off Golgonda, normally when we have Springan's Watch used, nets us a free summon from the graveyard. Pedor, you don't want to see it all the time, as obviously you can dump it to the graveyard with Springan's Watch, or via any other means, such as Merrymaker. Rocky is just our recursion from the graveyard when we do use our new Champion Sagas Tally-Ho combo, which I will be showing. Then for our level 8s, we run 2 Springans Branga and 1 Sargus. Sargus is a good one-of to normally summon off Tally-Ho to set up your board, and Branga is just the in case you need to search more, which it's just a name, but the search comes up every now and then. Now for the spells of the deck, I play 1 Time Thief startup, and for board breakers, as this deck somewhat struggles to break boards and this deck list is very tight, is 2 Lightning Storm. I would bump this to 3 by removing the Chronocorder, but I feel like a 2 of Lightning Storm suffices, and I just don't have a 3rd Lightning Storm. But yes, I do recommend playing 3 Lightning Storm over 2. Now, for the Springan spells, we play 3 Great Sand Sea Golgonda. This is the best card, 1 card combo, well 2 card technically, because you need this card and another Springan monster in hand. Those 2 cards pretty much give you a full setup of at least 2 pops minimum. So to access the field spell, we use 3 Springan Booty. This sends us cost and activates directly from the deck, so none of that Ash Blossom, no thank you. 3 Springan Watch. If you don't have the field spell already, this gets you access to the field spell. Also, this, when you do have the field spell, allows you to add a Springan monster and send one from the deck to the grave. And now with our newest addition from Power of the Elements, we have 3 Sprite Smashers. Funnily enough, the best effect on this is the effect to special summon from deck, which is a Springan effect, Not the Sprite effect, not the Therion effect, the Springan effect. You can banish any Springan card from your graveyard to summon a Springan from deck. It's pretty crazy if you ask me for this deck. And now for the MVP of this deck, and a card that I'm really wanting and can't wait from Photon Hypernova, and that is 3 Tallyho Springan. Obviously, as you can see, this card is in proxy form, as cards are not out yet. And I want to play it in paper, because playing with actual cards is better. So what this allows you to do is, when you activate this, you can detach up to 3 materials from any Xyz you control when you activate this card. And what this allows you to do is you add 1 Springan monster from your deck, then up to the number of materials you detach, you can special summon that many Springan monsters from your hand or graveyard. Now, if that is not broken, I don't know what is. What's even better as well, if you're going against an Xyz mirror, let's say not Springan times, it's just your opponent's playing an Xyz deck. It's graveyard effect, which you, by the way, you can only use one of the effects once each per turn. Its graveyard effect, though, allows you to detach a material from any Xyz monster on the field to add it back to hand. Any. Bye-bye your opponent's materials. And now for our final 3 cards in main deck, we have 3 traps, being Time Thief Flyback, Time Thief Retrograde for our counter trap spell and trap negate, and Springan's Interluder for if we ever need that extra Omni negate. Now moving on to the extra deck, this is where the spice comes. We play 2 Time Thief Redo, 1 Time Thief Perpetua. This is standard within this deck, as sometimes your Redo gets removed, so you always want your access to your second one, and Perpetua will allow you to get a quick effect attach of your trap from your deck, most of the time being Flyback, as Flyback does have a graveyard effect as well, and the trap is a free non-target bounce. Then for generic Xyz, we play Tornado Dragon, Exciton Knight. Sometimes when we can't deal with boards, gotta bring out the B. 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. This is when we have too many Time Thieves on field. This is a very good card. Non once per turn, Book of Moon. I don't need to explain it any further. And then for my funny side of the deck, as I like to meme my decks a lot, Gagaga Cowboy. You play this, you have to Cowboy for game. I'm telling you, okay? It is the funniest thing ever. And now for our Springan Xyz, we play 2 Merrymaker. This is 2 Merrymaker and Explorer. This is self-explanatory, as Merrymaker gets us our dump, and Explorer is just a board removal if we ever do access it or need to access it, which is pretty good. Now for the last remaining cards in our extra deck, we play the Draco Future package, being Utopic Future and Utopic Draco Future. Big boss monster, free negate, and a mind control on the negate. Then for our MVP of the extra deck, on top of Redoer, Gigantic Champion Sargus. So, to explain what this card does, this card, you can Xyz summon this on top of any Springan Xyz you control. Now, this is already ridiculous for the deck, as getting materials on your field to Xyz summon is pretty hard enough. Now, this just gives you a cheat code to get into a boss monster. So what this also does is, when it has material underneath it, you can search a Springan or Therion card. Remember when I said we're forgetting about the Therion part? Yeah, we're forgetting about it. Doesn't apply to us, but it's the fact that it searches a Springan card. Any Springan card, the entire archetype becomes searchable off this one card. And this searches as, most of the time, Tallyho Springan. Now, this also has its last effect, which makes this very good, is when a Xyz material is detached from anywhere, you can target one card on the field, either destroy it or bounce it to hand. The fact it can bounce, not just destroy, makes this 5 times stronger. And now for our last monster in the extra deck, which is kind of our be-all end-all, is Megaclops. A lot of the time, if we do summon this, we are winning the game. So now comes the combo tutorial. Here I will be showing you how this deck works and how it will combo, and how we use the new support coming from Hypernova. So, I have already set up a hand. This is a more ideal hand, but I can showcase a hand where it's not as optimal as this is. So, with this hand comes many options, but our first option will be Regulator, as its effect can only trigger when we have no monsters. So, we will start by normal summoning our Regulator. We will then use Regulator's effect, attributing itself as cost. At least it evades Imperm, so that is pretty good. And its effect will summon 2 Time Thieves from the deck with different names. So I will be summoning Time Thief Winder and Time Thief Adjuster. Then, in this scenario, as we already have a Winder in hand, we would want to chain block Winder for the search, as we want to get the search of our retrograde. So we do chain link 1 Winder, chain link 2 Adjuster. Adjuster sending us Basil Ship to the graveyard, and Winder adding our counter trap. We can then proceed by activating Great Sand Sea Golgonda. We can then use its effect, discarding the Pedal from our hand as cost, and we will special summon Springans Merrymaker from our hand. Its effect will then trigger on special summon to send a Springan monster from deck to graveyard. We will be sending Brothers. Then Brothers' effect will trigger, targeting the Pedal to special summon it. You can also, instead of special summoning it, just leave it in the graveyard, as we are going to be putting it under Merrymaker as material. So, we're going to be using Brothers' effect. All of the Springans, I forgot to mention, have an effect where they can attach themselves to a Springan Xyz you control. So, I'll be using Springan's Brothers' effect to attach itself to Merrymaker, and I'll be doing the same with Pedal. I will be then Xyz summoning using Merrymaker, keeping its materials underneath it, for Gigantic Champion Sargus, our new support. I will then use its effect. It will allow us to search a Springans card. In this scenario, we will be searching Tally Ho Springans. We can then activate Tally Ho Springan, detaching 3 materials as cost. And we will add ourselves Captain Sargus, and we will proceed to summon up to 3 monsters from our hand or grave that are Springan. So the Sargus from hand, the Pedal from grave, and the Brothers from grave. Now, as you can see, we already have a lot of materials to play around with. So let's do that exactly. So we will start by Xyz summoning for our Reader. We will then use our other 2 level 4 monsters to Xyz summon for Perpetua. We can then trigger Perpetua as a quick effect, targeting Reader to attach a Time Thief card from our deck to it. That will be a Time Thief Flyback in this scenario. And we aren't even done there. As we have Winder and Basil Ship in graveyard, we can use Winder's effect, detaching the Adjuster from our Reader to special summon itself. Its effect on summon will not go off because both of their effects are once per turn. We can then use Basil Ship's effect in graveyard. We can detach a material from Perpetua. Well, let's detach the Springan's Pedal, and we will summon the Basil Ship. Now, Basil Ship, if it leaves the field, would be banished due to its own effect, but if it goes under an Xyz monster, it will not. So, now that we have 2 dark monsters, we can then finally Xyz summon for Evil Swarm Nightmare. So, as you can see, this board is kind of crazy. Not only have we got extension for next turn, we also have a counter trap, spell, and trap negate. We have a non-targeting bounce. If we wanted to, if Basil Ship was in the graveyard, we could revive it with Perpetua during the standby phase. But we also have 2 Book of Moons for special summon monsters that our opponent summons. A quick effect pop, and a Champion Sargus pop when any material is detached. So in total, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 disruptions, 7 if you include Golgonda. I forgot to mention, it has an effect where if an Xyz monster you control leaves the field, you can target one monster your opponent controls and stop it from attacking. There you have it. A video after about 4 months of not uploading, which I did hope everyone who watched till the end, or just watched it all, enjoyed it. I did put a lot of effort into this video. I've made this all in one day, recording and editing in the same go, so any feedback would be much appreciated. Also, if you did like it and you want to see more, because I probably will be uploading more, subscribe, like the video if you want, and drop a comment. Tell me what you liked about it, what you'd change in the profile, and so on. Also, for people who aren't aware, I also stream on Twitch. I primarily do Yu-Gi-Oh content on Friday at 7 PM GMT, so my links for that will be in the description, to my Discord as well if you do want to join. I host remote duel tournaments, which anyone is open to. It's casual, so no meta decks, just plain old fun. Other than that, have a great day everyone, or a great week, month, year, and see you later.